Good morning, Wednesday morning. I have some pretty epic meetings lined up for the day. First, meeting Yitz Applbaum this morning, who is a mega investor that I've heard about from around 3,000 people over the years and have never met. We actually randomly met at a political event a couple of weeks ago and are finally having coffee this morning. Super pumped to meet him. He's an incredible dude. Like, you'll hear his story, hopefully, if I can get him on camera. Then heading to Powtoon for the day. A couple of meetings there. And meeting Lisa Bennett for lunch from Kaltura and Naftali Bennett's cousin. After that, meeting literally the smartest investor I know in the world, Alan Feld from Vintage Ventures, who's an investor that invests in the VCs and LP in some of the biggest VCs globally. Not sure what I'm allowed to say on camera, not sure what's public information, but I'm going to try very hard to get him on camera because he promised me last time and the time before that he'll do an interview, but I've never managed to actually get him to sit in front of the camera. So that's going to be a challenge of mine today, but all in all, a fantastic day ahead. Let's do this. Made it to Tel Aviv, 7:30 a.m. parking. 8 o'clock is my meeting with Yitz Applbaum, who, I don't even know how to describe the guy. He's invested in some incredible, I think he's invested in epistema. I know he brought Peter Thiel and some of their biggest investors to the table. I think he put some capital in as well, but he's just a big name in the venture world. Super pumped to meet him. But first, a Powtoon. Pretty sure I'm the first person here. It is 7:30 a.m., so that would make sense. But look how beautiful this office is. Well, not the first person here. 2 people here since 7 a.m. That's dedication. Anyway, gonna put my stuff down and head to meet Yitz at 8 a.m. here on Harba Street in Tel Aviv. And I'm gonna leave the camera here and take just the Osmo. If I get an interview with him, I'll do it on the Osmo. So over the years, I've been fortunate in my career to meet some extraordinary people. That is my biggest gift. I thank God for it every day. But then there's that person that throughout hundreds, maybe even thousands of meetings over the years, people have said to me, you don't know him, and their jaw hits the floor. How do you not know him? Not only is he a hotshot, but you guys have 80,000 things in common. There is endless synergy between the two of you. How do you not know Yitz Applebaum? And my answer was always, I don't know, but we need to fix it. Fast forward many, many years, and I'm sitting in an event, a month ago? Behind Bibi Netanyahu, the U.S. ambassador to Israel, David Friedman's on stage, and I look to my right, and I see a familiar face in the crowd, Yitz Applebaum. And I wink at him, he winks back at me. The rest is history. This is Yitz Applebaum. Man, it took us like 10 years. This is 10 years overdue as far as I'm concerned.
We could have built LinkedIn sitting here over breakfast. If only we had had a cigar with us.
That's true, man.
My contact's his contact and figure out what the overlap is.
That is true.
80% and LinkedIn move over. 26 billion.
But it's out of business.
That's exactly right.
It's true. So, listen, truth be told, honestly, usually when I meet people, I like to frame them in like an introduction, explain high level who they are. This person's the CEO. To explain Yitz Applebaum in less than like a 20, 30-minute description is basically impossible. But I'll just say one thing. Over the years, when I meet entrepreneurs, when I meet remarkable companies, like, for example, a company that I've been very engaged with lately, who I just love, Epistema, a company that raised from Peter Thiel and from Slack. And little did I know who is their lead investor? Yitz Applebaum. But that's just, literally the tip of the iceberg. This guy has hands in thousands and thousands of deals and companies and success stories and whatnot. In wine, I don't even know where to start. Who is Yitz Applebaum? Let's go. Let's see if you could elevator pitch me.
Son of a rabbi, grandson of a rabbi. Not a bad place to start. Grew up in Brooklyn. Went to Yeshiva University. Got very, very lucky in life. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has been beyond amazing to me. And started investing in Israel in 1999. Invested through the Intifada. Was with Lightspeed. Really the first guy from Silicon Valley, or one of the first people to come to Israel to start investing. 14 deals with Lightspeed. Then co-founder of Opus Capital. But more than anything, I love Israeli entrepreneurs. I love Israeli high-tech, but I love everything Israel. I'm one of the largest collectors of Israeli wine in the world. I'm on the board of the Menorot Kotel, one of the co-founding board members of Shalem.
You can go on for hours.
Just Israel.
You're doing a lot of
Everything
stuff.
has to do with Israel.
But let's just start for 1 second. I want to pause on the Lightspeed thing, because Lightspeed is widely regarded as one of the top venture capital firms in the world. I don't know the ranking, but it's up there for sure. And you were the first partner in Israel.
Focused on Israeli technology. That's correct. I've been coming back and forth every month since 2000, and I started that with Lightspeed.
All right. So there's that venture side. Then there's the hotel tunnels. How'd that happen?
Oh, I met Suli, who's the chief spiritual officer, and Rabbi Aronovich, who's the chief rabbi of the holy sites. And you have to come on a tour with me and you'll understand. 3,000 years of history, 2,800 years in history. In an hour, your life changes.
You're one of the biggest collectors of kosher wine. You have a massive cigar collection. How big is your cigar collection?
With a partner, we have over 5,000 Cuban cigars.
What? All right.
Yeah, extraordinary. I've been to Cuba 5 times.
Like the amount of things we have in common. All right. So listen, right now, your main focus in terms of day to day is you have a fund.
Mizma, Mizrach Ma'arav.
What's the website?
It's called www.mizma.com.
2 A's at the end?
2 A's at the end,
Okay.
yeah.
.com?
.com, and we help Israeli companies go to Asia.
Love it. And you deploy capital. In other words, you're not one of those guys being like, I'm going to help you be your man on the ground. You're actually deploying capital.
We put about $60 million to work in the last couple of years, 20 companies.
But here's the thing, and I'm a little bit, like 5 years ago, everyone and their mother was a social media expert. You know that?
Yeah.
Today, everyone's like, I'm going to be your man on the ground. Listen, Yitz Applbaum. Can we talk about who was at your house for dinner a couple of weeks ago, or was that confidential?
We had the president of Tencent. I'm a member of the YPO. We hosted a YPO group. We have the board of the Asia Society. I'm on the board of the Asia Society. Saturday night, they're coming to my home for dinner.
So when you say you're bringing companies to Asia, you're not bringing companies to to the markets. You're bringing them to the top
people.
of the top.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's
so
special.
Mizma.com is your main thing today.
That's correct.
And your son.
My son was made a partner 2 weeks ago. Second generation.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Champagne.
He's been with us for 2
champagne
years.
For that?
Last night we ate at this great restaurant, Al Soufi.
Tell me more.
Oh, Moroccan place. What? Right at the beginning of Nate Sedek. Extraordinary. I can show you some pictures of it.
Please do.
Unlimited food. The whole team.
You're a foodie too? You like food?
Not enough. No, I don't know enough about
I'm
it.
a big
Wine
foodie.
is my
All right.
Israeli
I love wine. I wouldn't say I'm a wine expert, but I'm a big foodie. But listen, man, bottom line is like this. Like I said, 10 years long overdue. Probably more than 10 years. I love the story. I love that you love Israel. I love that you started off with the fact that your dad's a rabbi. Most people don't know this. My dad's a rabbi too. You know SAR?
Tuli Hartstock. I taught him bar mitzvah lessons.
There for 40 years.
So the current principal is Tuli Hartstock. His
I
father
know, I
was
grew up in
chazan.
Hillcrest.
His father was the chazan in my dad's shul, and I taught him his bar mitzvah.
His father-in-law, Simcha Kraus?
Yeah.
My rabbi.
Oh, so my dad was a rabbi with his. Really?
Okay, there you go. I'm telling you, we're playing Jewish geography here, right on camera. Live.
We don't have
geography.
enough film left.
True, not a joke, by the way. Listen, it's phenomenal to meet you. Really phenomenal. All I can say is as follows: anything. And when I say anything that is a challenge for you, that you think I can be of any value, of any kind. I mean, we talked about some things. Those things are low-hanging fruit. Deal flow, easy. Press, easy. Forget that stuff. On a more fundamental level, if there's ever anything I can do to help, I mean, this is just a kickoff meeting. We're going to have many more meetings in the future. We'll not wait another 10 years. We'll smoke a cigar together. But listen, I mean it. Take me up on my offer. We'll have a meeting. I'll meet your son soon, but let me know how I can help with anything. I mean it.
Thank you
All right,
so
you're
much.
going to take me up on that, right?
I promise.
All right.
Very
And
beautiful.
when are you heading back to the States?
I go back Sunday night, Monday morning.
All right. So, and by the way, I do want to ask you one question. Could you freaking take care of the kosher food situation in Silicon Valley?
No. We've tried. I owned a kosher restaurant in Berkeley with Noah Albert and Raphael's.
Oh, because I went to, what's it called? Bar and Grill? What was the name of that place?
In Berkeley? Don't remember.
No, it was like the only kosher place, and I went there the night they closed.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, Sabra, with all due respect, is not really food. So we got to do something about that. It's crazy. I mean, there's L'Chaim Catering.
Yeah, he's great.
Alex.
Yeah, we use him all the
Alex,
time.
You moved here, you know that.
I know that. He has someone who now runs it for him.
Yeah. In any case, we got to do something about that. But listen, man, it's super awesome to meet you. You're going to let me know how I can help. Looking forward to our next meeting, and we're going to do some good stuff together, right?
Thank you so much.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Heading to Memphis Burger now to meet Lisa Bennett from Kaltura, an old friend, Naftali Bennett's cousin. She introduced me to him originally, now we're good buddies, and fellow hamburger enthusiast. So as I was saying, me and Lisa share a passion for good burgers. So we're hitting up Memphis, my all-time favorite burger here in Israel. Big fan of that place. And I love that I'm walking around with the DJI Osmo Pocket and not my massive camera. Freaking love it.
or see, it's not right to call it a meal because a meal like is in a normal restaurant.
No,
we
it's
just
a culinary experience.
Nice, there you go. Culinary. It was like
I'm
a
in
feast
marketing.
of unbelievable proportions. How many
For
burgers?
some of us,
That's true. That's true. How many burgers did I have, Lisa?
3.
It's true. True story. I had a 300 gram for my main, and then 2 160 gram burgers for dessert. True story.
Which I told you should have gotten the bigger one to begin with.
I know, it was so good. By the way, you know I could have another one right now.
Yeah.
I totally could, by the way. All right, can we talk about business here?
Sure.
Focus, Lisa. Focus. Who are you? What's your name?
Lisa Bennett. I'm VP Marketing at Kaltura.
Tell me about Kaltura a little bit, because, I mean, you guys are an absolute phenomenon. You're a phenomenon. You're sitting here in Ramat Gan, and you're dominating the video landscape. Give me some numbers.
Well, we have over 800 paying customers from every aspect of any industry that you can imagine. We have a huge open source community of over 150,000 members that deal with our code, our open source video code. We have offices worldwide in, I believe, 7 locations at the moment, almost 500 employees.
It's insane.
And yeah, we're everything video.
So I'm going to ask a super annoying question. Who is your biggest competitor today?
So the interesting thing is that we don't have one single competitor. Because Kaltura plays in so many industries due to our platform approach,
Right?
we have competitors in each one of the areas that we play in. I would say, in general, anyone who is playing in the video space from a technology perspective is either a partner
right.
or
a competitor. But is there anyone at your scale?
Not that covers the range of solutions that we offer.
Let me ask you this.
I mean, on the cloud TV side of the business,
Right.
we compete with huge companies like Huawei and Ericsson and whatnot. On the other side of the business,
I like the way you pronounce their name right. Huawei.
Is that right?
Yeah, you pronounced it right. Most people are like, Huawei, Huawei. But the first time I was with Huawei in Shanghai, I gave a talk and I said something like Huawei, and they're like, Huawei! I was like they're very particular. But anyway, you pronounced it well. They go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's it. So it's a range of competitors, but there's no one who competes exactly with what what we do.
All right, let me ask you a question now. I want you to dumb down, like really dumb down. What is Kaltura? What is like fundamentally what is Kaltura?
So Kaltura basically brings video to whoever needs it.
Right.
Right. So let me give you an example of some of our products, because that's at the end of the day what you actually see. We have a lot of different products, but let's talk about one. For example, is a out-of-the-box YouTube for an organization.
Right.
If you're a school or if you're an enterprise and you want to have video across the board within your organization without people going to YouTube and seeing cat videos,
Right.
then you would deploy our media space video port.
Like an internal YouTube. I love it.
An internal YouTube.
Love it.
It could be an external YouTube, by the
Right.
way, as well. We have lots of customers that use it that way too.
Love it.
And the other big product that we use is almost like a out-of-the-box white labeled Netflix. So think about Vodafone TV, which is powered by Kaltura. They offer in over 8 countries Vodafone TV, similar to here in Israel, Cellcom TV or a Hulu or a Netflix, and that's what Kaltura provides the backbone for.
Is it fair to say Kaltura is the infrastructure of a significant percentage of web video?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Now let
I'm
me
talking,
tell you.
over 15 billion streams a year.
Okay, so let me tell you what the right answer
More
to
than
my question
475 videos played per second.
was. Wow.
Yeah.
Those are some crazy numbers. But when I asked you what is Kaltura, the right answer was, we are Hillel's vlog sponsor. That's the right answer. No, so the truth is, so the good news is, yeah.
That's what we are first.
Right, of course.
And
So
we
the
do
good
other
news,
things
the good
as
news
well.
is, I'm a big fan of Kaltura, and we, when I launched my vlog, we're like, let's work together. The bad news is I haven't leveraged it properly. We have to figure out how to do that.
I know, we
The
do.
real truth is, like, beyond the vlog, like, we really, beyond hamburgers, we should sit one day and really talk collaboration, because,
Yes.
like, who does video? Like, video? Me? You? Hello? You know?
Hello.
Let me ask you one more question. I'm sitting here holding this microscopic device, by the way, very awkwardly. Like, it's weird for me to hold. It's one thing to hold, like, a big camera. I'm holding this with, like, 2 fingers. It's weird. But my question to you is, trends in technology and video. Like, this is a trend, right? Forget for one second the hardware. Like, the fact that video is totally democratized and anybody can become
Yes.
How does Kaltura view that trend? Like, how is it impacting your business?
Well, for us, it's a huge opportunity, obviously, because once you can create video easily and without any issues, and as 5G comes into play and things like that, it's just the most natural thing.
Right.
I mean, think of your kids, right? How do they communicate? How do they converse?
Right.
It's all video.
Right.
So for us, the combination of mobile, a camera in everyone's hand, and the internet, I mean, it's just means that it's out there for us to take it.
You know when I realized how that I'm really old? when TikTok became like the biggest thing. I haven't even downloaded. I don't even know what TikTok is.
Well, I knew TikTok when it was Musical.ly, by the way. But
I don't even
again,
know
through my daughter.
what any of those things are, and yet everybody doesn't stop talking about it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what these things are. So yeah, I'm
Right.
old.
It's like when our grandparents used to ask us, "What's email?"
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't that long ago, by the way.
I know.
It's crazy. In any case, Lisa,
Yes,
we should do this more often.
absolutely.
Between our love of video, our love of tech, our love of
Burgers.
that was the punchline, okay? Ruined the punchline.
Israel,
of
burgers.
Israel, but also our
Family.
getting our feet wet in the political game a little bit, talking
Yep.
politics, because
Yep.
you're Naftali Bennett's cousin, you introduced me, best intro ever. And then there's the extreme love of good burgers. We should do this more often, that's the bottom line. But I feel bad bringing you all the way out here every time, so I'm happy to come to you whenever. There's good burgers in your area, if not, you're coming here. But anyway, really, you should do it more often. Always,
Anytime,
always a
anywhere.
blast. This was a lot of fun. I'm going to let you go because you have a birthday party to attend to.
I do.
But yeah, let's do it more often.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming all the way out here.
Thank you.
I think the burgers are worth it though. Even if I wasn't worth it, the burgers were worth it. Is that true? Burgers were worth the burgers were worth it.
I'd say it's a fair,
How good is Memphis, by the way?
Memphis is unfrickin' believable.
They don't pay me, by the way. They should.
And I only said frickin' because we're on air.
There you go. Very nice. All right, Lisa, let's do it again soon.
All right,
Always a
thanks,
pleasure.
Hillel.
Thanks.
Heading to meet Alan Feld right now from Vintage Ventures, one of the top VCs. Not a VC, I mean LPs and VCs, so like fund of funds in the world, actually. He's an LP in Lightspeed, Excel, and Andreessen. He's sort of a smart dude and a mega mensch. And I'm running late. Hopefully I'll make it on time. I hate coming late to meetings. He's just an amazing dude. So I think over the last 10 years of my career, majority of the things that I aimed and dreamed of accomplishing, I've accomplished. But there's this one thing that I've wanted to do for so long, like for years, and I was unable to do it because it was out of my control. Today, I went out of my comfort zone. I was super aggressive because I wanted to get Alan Feld on camera. Let me tell you why before we get him on camera. Because Alan Feld is a force to be reckoned with, and you've never seen him before. The reason you've never seen him before is because he's not the type of guy to be front and center. He's under the radar, behind the scenes, but I promise you this, all of the VCs that I've met with over the last 350 episodes of this vlog, all the VCs and all the hot startups, the growth startups, the companies that are having an impact and building sustainable, large, successful companies, the unicorns, the ones that are getting there, Alan Feld has his hand in all of them, and not in a negative way, in a positive way. He's helping the companies, he's helping the VCs, he's an LP in the world's top venture firms. He is a legend. And the worst or the best part about him is he doesn't even know it. The best part, not the worst part. Alan Feld. So first of all, I'm sorry. I can't help it, man. I can't help it.
What did my mother pay you to say that?
Listen, man. How long do we know each other? How many times have I tried to get you on camera? I basically twisted your arm today. Like, basically, I'm going to put a gun to your head. Okay, give me, in 45 seconds, the Alan Feld story. Not professional, personal. Where are you from? What's your story? When did you move to Israel? Talk to me.
I was born in Canada.
No wonder you're so nice. Hey, Mazel Tov with the Raptors.
Thank you very much.
Oh my, it's big news.
Yeah, next time hopefully I'll add more points to the.
Nice.
But I'm born in Toronto. Grandfather was a fur trapper in northern Canada.
I did not know that.
Father and mother lived in Toronto. I moved to Israel with my wife and oldest daughter 25 years ago. This past
You're 11
April,
years old, so we moved the same year?
1994.
I was 3. 26 years, I guess. Okay.
And it's been an amazing experience since.
Isn't it like, I mean, are we living the dream or what?
We're living the dream.
Like, really, people talk about moving to Israel, gotta lower your quality of life. That might have been true once. Today?
It's unbelievable.
We're
It's
living the
fantastic.
dream.
Look, you know what? I'm an Israeli by choice. And it's been an amazing experience.
Unbelievable, the best.
Some of the finest people I've ever met in my life have been in this country.
100%. By the way, many of them are in this office, but that's a topic for another time. All right, let's. I mean, we could talk about Alan Feld and your story on a personal level
Most
for
importantly,
hours.
I'm a father of 5 kids
That is the
and
most important.
a grandfather of 1.
That's new news.
Which is
Relatively
the
new.
important thing.
How old?
1 year old.
1 year old. Mazel Tov. Amazing. Unbelievable. I'm following. I'm seeing. It's amazing. The joy in your face holding that baby on that Facebook post. All right, so let's jump into the less exciting stuff. Where do we start? Vintage Ventures. Well, it's not actually called Vintage Ventures.
Vintage
Investment Partners.
Yeah. So I started the firm 17 years ago. I always learned that the way you make money is you do the opposite of what everybody else does. NASDAQ had just crashed. People were down on Israel. People were down on tech. And we thought, this was exactly the right time to start looking at this space and being aggressive and in building it out. At the same time, we knew that we'd never met a VC that wasn't optimistic about their portfolio. So we said, look, let's go meet the companies ourselves. Both my partner Abe, who joined me from day one and had been an institutional investor ranked analyst at Goldman, myself, who had been an investment banker and a venture capitalist, said, why don't we just go meet the companies and try and understand what's in those portfolios and start buying up where we'll be long when people are short. And that was the basis of how we started Vintage. We started as a secondary fund in 2003, and the rest is developed since then.
So I can talk about Vintage for hours. I know you. We're gonna have to work on this, but Alan Feld is very humble, and that's okay. It's part of your charm. But you know what? I'm a marketing guy, and at the end of the day, sometimes it's okay. I'm gonna give you a little pat on your hand here because it's okay because you've done some. Okay, let's not say you, because I know you don't want to take credit. Vintage has done some spectacular, outrageous, just illogical things in the venture community from Hertzliya. Now, I don't know what you're allowed to talk about, what you're not allowed to talk about, but can you just give me an indication? Give me some names of what firms you're an LP in.
We're fortunate to be investors in a lot.
Hold on. Listen carefully to this. Yes.
No, we're fortunate to be, and we're honored to be an investor in a lot of different groups. I mean, we've been fortunate to be investors in some of the better funds in Israel and several of the better funds in the U.S. and in Europe. It's hard to choose between your children, right?
Can you name some,
we love all our children equally, but we're honored to be investors in Andreesen Horowitz and Lightspeed and Battery and Spark and Scale and Charles River.
Wait, you gotta stop. Hold on, I gotta explain to you something, all right? I don't know if whoever you are that's watching right now, that list that he just named is the list of top tier investors in the world. Now, let's just start with the first one. Andreesen Horowitz. Mark Andreesen invented the modern web browser at Netscape. Billionaire several times over. By far the premier venture capitalist, invested in Slack, invested in Twitter, invested in Facebook, on the board of Facebook. I mean, we're talking a legend. Now, forget for one second all of that. The fact that Andreesen Horowitz announces that they're raising a fund, every limited partner in the world runs to be part of that, right? And so that fund, without knowing the details, is for sure oversubscribed by like tens, if not hundreds of percentages. The fact that Alan Feld and Vintage Investment Partners in Hertzliya is able to get in as an LP in Andreesen Horowitz is outrageous. It's outrageous.
Well, we're very honored. We've built a really wonderful relationship with the guys. They're phenomenal investors, and they're wonderful people. Scott Cooper, who manages the firm on a day-to-day basis, by the way, just came out with a phenomenal book about the secrets of Silicon Valley.
What's it called?
I think Secrets of Silicon Valley.
Right.
And Ben Horowitz, Mark, and the whole team they're an amazing group of people and are doing spectacularly well. But as I say, we're honored to be in several other great firms. Redpoint, we're in Battery, Spark, Scale, Charles River, Excel London.
It might have been easier to ask you who you're not.
We have also we're honored to be in Local Globe in London, an outstanding seed fund, or Point 9 in Berlin, another great seed fund.
You said something before, Alan, and I apologize.
Several Israeli funds that have done exceptionally well for us, and because we're very high, of course, on Israel and what Israel offers, and so
I don't mean to interrupt you because
we're the ones that do the work. We're there for the run.
There he goes again. All right, we could talk about this for hours. I'm going to interrupt you because you said something before. I asked you a simple question. How do you explain it? How do you, with all your good looks, how do you explain? And your answer was one word. You remember the word?
No, what was my word?
Relationships.
Well, look, this is a relationships industry. I mean, you've got to think long term. I mean, look, we don't know if tomorrow the markets are going to go down or not. We understand that if you look at venture capital over a 20-year horizon, 15 to 20-year horizon, it consistently provides outstanding returns. Now, you can't time market. All you can do is invest with great people. And by the way, how do we determine what's a great venture fund and not? It's all about entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneurs
are music to my ears.
Entrepreneurs are attracted to the best venture fund. And you know what? As an LP, you've got to also get with the best venture managers, because if you're not with the best venture managers, there's no point in being in venture.
Well, let me just emphasize something that you said. That to you, it's like, okay, obvious, but to you, watching it, to me even, that's not obvious. You had a premise. You had a basic kind of like assumption in what you just said, which is what? And who's working for who? Is the entrepreneur working for the investor, or is the investor working for the entrepreneur?
So we've actually positioned ourselves as the blue-collar limited partner, which is, we think that the limited partner world has to fundamentally change. Just like general partners are working incredibly hard for their companies, helping their entrepreneurs with contacts, with team building, etc., we think that we have an obligation to help the general partners with whom we invest. So we have a team that focuses on value-added services, which helps. We've now done mapping for some like 380 global 10,000 companies. We introduce our portfolio funds companies to potential customers. We don't take anything from either side. It's frankly just to be good to people and be good and goodwill.
I have to interrupt.
I'm one of these crazy people. I have to tell you, I'm one of these naive people.
Yeah.
And I think you're one of the best examples.
That's where I was going.
I was one of the best examples. You're one of the best, probably the best example.
I learned from the best, Alan.
You don't have to learn from anybody.
I want to be you when I grow up.
What I've learned in my career, and it goes back to the question you asked at the beginning about relationships. If you're good to people, not everybody's going to remember.
Listen carefully.
Not everybody's ever going to remember, but if you're good and you work hard for them, you try to help them, and you try to add value in an honest, genuine way. Most people remember it. I'm one of these naive people that believes that people are inherently good, and that's what business is about. And that's why relationships is so fundamental.
Allow me to summarize mine and yours mutual mathematical equation for our entire business philosophy. Ready? Listen carefully. This is it. I'm about to tell you everything you believe in a mathematical equation. Not really math, but an equation. Here it is. This is how I live my life. When you focus your time and resources on value add and not on monetization. So in my case, no finder's fees. In your case, everything that you do. If I'm helping you, an entrepreneur, win, and you're not paying me, you have no expectations. Because you're not paying me. I don't owe you anything.
Correct.
And what happens here, when there are no expectations, listen carefully. When there are no expectations, all I can do is exceed expectations.
You're right.
When I exceed expectations over and over and over again, what happens is I create delight. Delight can be monetized.
Yeah,
That's it.
Absolutely. And the reason we do it very simply is we want to make our money greener than the next guy's. And hopefully when we want allocations that are larger in funds, or we want to get into certain funds, they know that we're going to work for them.
Right.
And
money is a commodity. Being a mensch is not.
Yeah, and so we position ourselves as the blue-collar LP.
Love it.
What we've attempted to do also is, beside these connections, we've got a whole series of other services which we're going to roll out. They're all free services that our fund managers can select. And the idea, again, is to try and be helpful and be true partners.
Two more things I need to say. Number one, we didn't talk about the economics and, the whole VC actual mechanism because, again, you can close your ears because I know I'm going to embarrass you when I say this, but Alan Feld is by far, not even by a small margin, the smartest guy in the venture community in Israel, maybe in the world, and everyone knows that about you. Forget what I think. Everyone says that about you. I'm not okay.
You're a lovely guy.
All right. Okay. Number one. Number two. We have to give a shout out because you have a lot of rock stars on your team. But when it comes to value add services, Orly.
Orly Glick has been phenomenal.
She's a powerhouse.
She's amazing. She's amazing. She's a one of the best people one could ever have hired. But beside everything else, she's just a spectacular person.
You posted a picture the other day. Me and Orly at this event. I don't know if you saw it at one of these conferences. We just took a selfie, and the amount of comments. Oh my God, Orly's so amazing. Everyone loves Orly.
She's amazing.
And that's why it's good that you guys work together because everyone loves Alan.
Look, one of the things that was really important for us at Vintage, and some personal stories about me and stuff, and one of the things that I desperately care about is having an environment where people want to come to work in the morning.
Amen.
And that they like their partners, they like the people who they're working with, and I think that is an important fundamental part of our culture.
It's crucial.
We decided that
100%.
we wanted a culture that people would spend time together.
Yep.
When we're working together, there's no question that there's a 1 + 1 = 3. And I think and by the way, that's how we also judge funds.
Right.
We're really looking for not a group of individual stars. We're looking for guys who know how to work as a team.
Love it.
Have a lot of respect for each other and are prepared to help each other. Because there's good days like we have now, but you know what? I've been through 4 crises, 4 down markets.
Yep.
As one guy said, you see all the gunk at the bottom of the river when the water's low. And what you want to do is you want to see guys who know how to work together, men and women who respect each other enough that also they can support one another when things are not good.
Out of lack of time, not because I don't want to talk to you for 4 more hours, I'll just say one more thing. What I love, among many other things about you, is that when I got here, you were head down, working your butt off. You came late to our meetings. You're working your butt off. You're working for your.
Sorry for being late.
No, that thing is the biggest compliment possible. Okay. Despite the success of this firm, whatever this, I don't even know what you want to call yourselves. At this point, you're an empire. You're working your butt off for your partners.
We're doing our best,
and it's worked. It's worked.
Look, it's huge responsibility when you take other people's money. You take pension money. Fortunately, we have pension investors from the U.S., Canada, Israel, Europe, etc. We have insurance companies. We have endowments. We have, it's a huge responsibility 100%. When you take other people's money. Every time I raise a new fund, I don't sleep because
sure.
You know what? You can't lose people's money.
Alan, but I am upset at you about one thing.
What?
I like you a lot, but there's one thing that
I've told you for years to help me help you. Let me do something to help. Delegate to me things. Take things up. You've never taken me up in my offer. So now that it's on camera, tell me whatever challenge, not on camera, whatever challenge you have, think about it. You need someone to mop the floors? Let me know. Listen, dude,
Hillel,
what you're doing is
one of the things that's been amazing about you is you've introduced me to incredible people. You're an incredible mensch.
Thank you. We're not here to talk about me, though.
No, but let's talk about you for a minute.
We're talking about you.
You're an incredible mensch. You're really a good person. You know what?
That.
And one of the things that's been amazing, and we've known each other for a long time, is you're a person who does first. And
thank you.
And one of the things that's not a regular commodity in this.
You know what else is in a regular commodity? A venture capitalist that not one person on planet Earth could say a bad thing about. Everybody I say, Alan, I love Alan. Everyone says the same thing about you. I don't know what you've done. You've mesmerized. It's unbelievable. Listen,
thank you.
Anything that I can do to help in any way, shape, or
you're
form.
The best.
No, nothing. It doesn't have to be something. Anything. The marketing team, have them send me their tweets.
I appreciate them. I appreciate.
Take me up on it, though.
Okay, you got it.
All right, we're gonna meet again soon. We shouldn't wait. We do this like every 5 years. We should do it like once a year.
Thank you.
I know you're busy. We can't do it once a month, but once a year at least, we'll do it.
And take everything you said about me with a big grain of salt.
Yeah. Alan, thank you so much. I'm running.
Thanks, my friend.
What a freaking legend that guy is. See you tomorrow.